Okay? And this is something I think is going to be particularly relevant to you around this table, because isn't one of the Michigan Credit Union League's goals this year to talk about milestones in individuals' lives? Isn't that kind of a push for the league? That's what we're going to talk about here for the next few minutes, is life stages. Because remember, 90% of the time, we are just a commodity. All we are is a free checking account, and give me in and out fast and don't screw up my balance. Okay, but it's the 10%. And you know, as a marketer, I'm sort of a gambler. Okay, I want to put, all I ever asked for was an unfair advantage. That's it. I don't ask for much. And I don't want to be out there just guessing on what conversations I need to have with which individuals. And as a marketer, and as somebody who thinks about sales all the time, it struck me that, you know, there are certain milestones in people's lives that every single one of us have experienced and will experience again. And when those milestones happen, our whole world's turned upside down. Everything changes. There are some significant things that are going on in our lives. And when something significant happens in your life, don't those tend to have financial implications? So if we as credit union people, if we can identify these life stages, won't that help us out at the branch level? Now, you know, just think about it. I like to tell the story of in 2003, March 22nd, 2003 to be specific. I was bulletproof. You couldn't touch me. I was going to live forever. I lived check to check, day to day. There was no future. I was partying and having a good time right now. It was about me and my wife. Me. All right? Then March 23rd happened to me. And Ben was born. Yeah. Those people, you got kids too. Everything changed. Everything changed. I'll tell you what, man. March 23rd, I left that hospital, and within a week, I was calling about life insurance. Never cared about it before. I was bulletproof. Right? But I was calling about it now. All right? And then the impossible happened. And I'm ashamed to say it. For 20-some odd years, I swore up and down I would never own a minivan. But if you've messed with the car seats that are kind of big and bulky and tried to get them in with the sliding door, and you always park too close to the person next to you, and you got to get it around, that sliding door seemed to make a whole lot of sense to me after a while. All right, I swore up and down until Corvette makes a minivan, this cat ain't getting in one. After March 23rd, it made a whole lot more sense. And then I was blessed with a wonderful child. Ben is absolutely fantastic. And he was so good, in fact, that not too long after he came home, I thought, you know what? This baby thing ain't too bad. I bet you we could do it again. Yeah. So then I'm looking around the house thinking, yeah, but we're probably going to outgrow this place. So Ben wasn't 2, maybe 3 years old when we sold that house and got into something bigger because his sister was on her way. All right, one thing happens at a hospital, and now all of a sudden there are certain financial items falling into place, right? Now, what I love about this idea is, because as marketers, we are programmed to think demographically, aren't we? There is the baby boomers, that big, huge chunk of bubble of babies that came out of World War II, right? That the world has been catering to all of our lives. Okay? There's Gen X, sort of a forgotten generation. That's okay. I've gone through therapy and I'm okay with it now. If you remember Gen X was the flannel-wearing, Nirvana-listening baristas that lived in mom and dad's basement, and that was pretty much all they were ever going to do. You guys know those cats, right? All right. Well, now, Gen X is in front of you talking about credit union marketing. Raising children, for God's sakes. Who would have thought it? All right, the thing is, generations and demographics grow up and they evolve. Okay, so it's really tough to target on those. And now we've got millennials. What do we do with these guys? All right, they're in a completely different dichotomy that we'll get to in just a few minutes. So it's really hard to hit that moving target. But when you think about life stages, now, this is where a couple of you guys, especially in marketing, are going to have aha moments. 2003, what happened? I needed life insurance. I needed a new vehicle, a minivan. I needed maybe a new home, right? Now, in 1973, I'll bet you when a new father came home from the hospital, he needed life insurance. Now, he didn't have minivans. He had one of those like woody, station wagon things with no seatbelts and the kids bounced around like ping pongs in the back. But it was some sort of a vehicle that was easier for the kids, right? Maybe a new house. Now, in 2023, 2033, 2043, those same items are going to fall into place no matter what happens in our world. All right, they're going to get into their little arm-held computer, and they're going to start looking up life insurance. All right? They're going to need a Jetsons flying car with a sliding door. The items may change, but the needs are the same. And so if we can identify those needs across all of life's milestones, doesn't that put us in a great strategic position for conversations? And that's all this concept is about. It's identifying the milestones, most, if not all of which, we've done here for you on this slide. Now, if anybody recognizes that there's something missing here, I would love you forever if you tell me about it, because I'd want to incorporate it in. This is an ever-evolving concept. But think about it. When you're in school, there are certain things that happen. When you buy a new home, and we'll get to new home in just a minute, but ladies, you got to help me out here. What is it that you do the very second that those new home keys land into your hand? What do you got to do?
Go buy furniture.
Do you decorate it? Change it? What is it about the new home that makes the old furniture obsolete? I need to know. Can you help me? All right? It was good enough for that house. Why are you changing it on me now? But no, when somebody gets a new home, there are certain things. You got to paint all the walls, right? Because the walls are hideous. What were those people thinking? White walls. We got to change that. It has to be this shade of white instead. And we bought the house with window furnishings, right? But y'all got to change them before we even move stuff in. Some of y'all look at me like I'm crazy, but some of y'all also are thinking, yeah, I did that. All right, but no, so there are certain things, certain financial assumptions that we can make about every single one of these life stages, aren't there? And we're going to focus on just a handful of them so that you can take that back to your credit unions with you. That's it.